Okay, now here we are on router 8. We're going to be looking at the EBGP to customer 2. The IP version 4 is here. There's a little IP version 6 coming later. So let's have a look. So set policy options, policy statement from customer 2. If we go down here, we can see set protocols, BGP group, C2, import from C2. So this is an import on the EBGP. The policy is from C2. Here are the terms. So from BGP, from the path, C2 origin, and if you look at this path here, it's basically the routes have to have been originated on C2. We don't want transit routes here. So we're going to accept those, we're going to reject the rest. And then this is interesting here, we're going to be basically wanting an aggregate from C2. And we're going to be rejecting the longer masks, and basically that just sums down what C2 are going to be advertising. And bear in mind that this is the V4 and there is a V6 component as well. Okay, so let's have a look at the upstream one, which is also connected to router 8. So here we're rejecting the customer 1, which is what we want. We don't want any of the customer 1 routes finding their way to an upstream. So the first term. So the policies to upstream 1, the first term is C1 reject from BGP from the community, because of course the community has now been set on router 6 and router 5 heading into this half of the confederation. So from the community C1 routes reject, and then also we're working on this aggregate as well. So from this C2 aggregate we'll accept it. We don't want the longer paths. So we're going to be rejecting those, and of course this allows C2 to be sent through this this upstream, which is what C2 wants, because of course C1 doesn't want internet access, but C2 does. So let's just have a look here. We've got the definition of the C1 routes of the community, so it's recognizable, and we've got the path for the C2 origin. We've also got this aggregate route, which is going to be coming from C2. And then we've got the attachment of the C2 policy inbound on our rate. So other than the version 6 on C2, that pretty much sums this up. We're putting all the routes in, we're restricting them on the way out. C1 doesn't want internet access, C2 does. 5 and 6 are going to be setting the community from the right hand side to the left, and the rest of the time in this sub AS we are actually identifying the C1 routes via their AS path.